Hey everyone, it's Courtney. I am 13 weeks pregnant this week and the baby is the size of a peach, so growing a lot. We had a doctor's visit this week, so we got to the doctor's office and she took me into the room and asked me to pee in a cup, just the normal stuff. But then she came in with a measuring tape and a Doppler, like a heart Doppler, just one of those little travel size ones, and she pretty much made it sound like I was not having a ultrasound, and I was pretty bummed. And she said the doctor would be in soon. So a couple minutes later the doctor came in and he's like, "Oh, come with me." And I was like, oh, thank the Lord we get to have an ultrasound, because at first I didn't think we were going to when she brought the heart Doppler in there. So he took us to an ultrasound room I had never been in, because I thought there was two ultrasound machines, one for one doctor, one for the other doctor. Like I said, we switch off doctors, but this is our primary doctor we were seeing. And he took us into this room and it had a giant ultrasound machine. I had never seen one that big. And he explained that we'll get a 4D ultrasound with it later on when I'm 20 to 30 weeks, because we'll get to see the facial features then and all of that. So that was exciting. So he started the ultrasound, and it was my first stomach ultrasound, because I was getting them vaginally because I wasn't far enough along. But this one got to be a stomach ultrasound now that I'm in my second trimester. So he started the ultrasound and we saw our little baby right away. I think Jellyfish was sleeping because he wasn't moving around like the last time we saw him at 10 weeks. But halfway through the ultrasound, just a regular ultrasound, he's like, "So do you want to see what it looks like for a 4D?" And I was like, yeah. So he changed to a 4D ultrasound, and you'll get to see that in the video. It's cool. He did warn me, you know, sometimes the baby looks like an alien because the 4D makes him look weird this young, but it was still cool to see. And he started moving around. I say he, and we still don't know what it is, but baby started moving around and it was so cool. So I'll show you guys that video now. Also, when they weigh me at the doctor's, the nurse was like, "Oh, you're going backwards." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Oh, well, you've lost weight since you first started coming," which she said is pretty normal in the first trimester, that you'll lose weight. So I thought I had gained weight because my stomach makes me look like I've gained weight. So I was sure I had gained like 10 pounds, but no, I've lost almost 10 pounds. So symptoms this week, I don't have as many as I did in the first trimester. I was trying to think of symptoms and it was kind of hard. One is I have gotten my first stretch marks on my boob. They're hardly noticeable, but yes, I've gotten my first stretch marks. from pregnancy. So another thing is hot flashes. I have noticed a few hot flashes. I was standing in the checkout line at the store and I was just like burning. I mean, I was sweating. I told Miles I was sweating like a teenage boy. It was awful, and I got in the car and I turned on the air full blast because I was just so hot. So yes, I've definitely gotten hot flashes. So another thing is I've had mild cramps. I wouldn't even call them cramps because they are so mild. They're more like twinges in my sides. But I'm guessing that's just from my uterus growing, so they're hardly noticeable. Just every once in a while I'll get them. And then last thing is I am still very itchy on my stomach and boobs, and mainly just my stomach and boobs. I was saying I was itching like everywhere. I haven't noticed it as much as before, so I think it was all in my head and it's gone now. So I mentioned in my last video that I was using the Burt's Bees Belly Balm Cream for my stomach and just all the areas where I thought I'd get stretch marks. But this past week I changed to just all natural coconut oil, just because it's more natural than the other stuff, and I've heard it works a lot better. So it's unrefined because the refined stuff doesn't have all the nutrients that the unrefined does. This is all natural organic coconut oil. I got it at Sam's Club for like $10 for a huge thing like this. So what's weird about coconut oil is it's like a solid, until it's heated to at least 76 degrees or higher. I'll scoop some up and then rub it in my hands and it will melt into an oil. So, and then I'll lather up, and so that's what I use for itching, and it does help with the itching. So I've also noticed that like I could take pills no problem pre-pregnancy, but now that I'm pregnant, my gag reflex is like 10 times worse than it was. So the prenatals that I used to take before I was pregnant, those huge pills, I used to take them for hair and nails, and I could take them no problem, it was fine. But now I'm having trouble taking tiny pills. Any type of pills is just hard. So for my prenatals, I'm taking the Vitafusion prenatal gummies. They're just gummy vitamins. They're squishy and you chew them. I take 2 per day. Which my doctor, I told him about these, he said they were fine. He told me because they don't have, I don't even think they have any calcium. If they do, they have very little calcium. He told me to take Tums for calcium, even if I'm not having heartburn, just take a Tums, and it's pretty much like taking a calcium pill. Alright, so that's it. Not much to update on, not many symptoms or anything. So I might wait till 16 weeks to update you for the next pregnancy vlog, just because I don't think much is going to change between now and then and my next doctor's visit. My next doctor's visit, we will, he will know what the gender is, but we're not going to find out. He's going to write it down for us, record the whole thing, give us pictures, but he's going to put all of that in an envelope, and I'm going to take it to a baker because we're doing a gender reveal the weekend after we find out. So we find out the 15th of April and the gender reveals on the 19th. So all of our family and friends will be there when we find out what it is, and I can't wait for that. I cannot wait to find out what our baby is. I am still leaning toward a boy. I definitely think it's a boy. Oh, that's another thing. I asked the doctor what side the placenta was on because they say 97% of the time if it's on the right side it's a boy, and 97% of the time if it's on the left side it's a girl. So that's a pretty good chance that that's right. So I asked him and he said it was on the right side. That's definitely the boy side. So we'll see. That's just what I think. Miles, I think, thinks it's a girl. But yes, so that's it. I'll show you guys my belly for 13 weeks.